Welcome to round 3 of the West Bank Super Series in Aldo, Scribante, Port Elizabeth. This is the Bridgestone production cars.
Show. Another coastal outing for the Bridgestone production cars, the coastal city Port Elizabeth, South Africa. Round number 3, cars to watch would be the new Audi S4 pairing of Stephen and Sapuka. Would we see the new S4 of Johan Fourie? Would the Subaru team have a decent weekend?
For all the information on the West Bank Super Series, visit our website www.westbanksuperseries.co.za or SMS the word motorsports to 31329 and stay in the loop.
Once again, the Bridgestone production cars invited the general public at track a chance to mingle with the stars and their cars. A time to be impressed, and if you were lucky, an autographed. Birthday celebrations for Henny Groenewald, would it be the one to remember? What was apparent, there was a lot of nervous tension, but quite frankly, behind those 4 smiles lay a steely desire to fire up motors and go racing. But who would get pole in qualifying here at Aldo Scribante?
Henny Groenewald and the Sassel Subaru team went searching for that pole position, Steve, but unfortunately only ended up on the second row of the grid. And there was a lot of work to do for those guys.
A lot of pressure on Team Afrox with their BMWs. They know they've got a fight on their hands.
The front row dominated by the S4. Sapuka in second, and Michael Stevens stepping up and taking his pole position at the home circuit of Audi. Confirmation there, you can see the 2 Audis on the front row, and both of them now in S4 machinery.
They'll be looking behind them at Melville Priest and Henny Groenewald in the Subaru.
On the third row, it's all about Johan Fourie, still in the A4, not in the S4 yet. And second of the BMW's Taylor.
Then Richard Pinnard in the other Subaru, and then Marco Acuna in the Nissan.
Behind them comes Tanith Gardner and Paulo Acuna in the second of those 350Zs.
Michael Stephen gets it on pole, but more importantly, the car is starting to look really solid.
Yes, most definitely. You know, obviously we raced the car in Cape Town. We had a few small issues. The guys have worked hard and, you know, got both cars ready for PE home race. And yeah, we've come out, put it 1-2 on the grid in qualifying. That's only the beginning of the day. We need to really put our heads down now and make sure that we can convert that into wins.
In terms of a team, information being passed to each other, I mean, it's absolutely fantastic you find yourself on the front row. This is a wonderful debut for you and the team.
No, definitely. You know, I think we, as Michael said, we did a few changes yesterday and they seem to pay dividends this morning. And as he says, you know, I think we've got to button up now and make sure we bring these cars 1 and 2 at the end of the day.
Race 1, and here we go down towards turn number 1. 10 cars about to go to do battle. And into turn 1, it's S4's 1 and 2. Sapuka tucking in behind, looking for a way through. Coming through on the background there, look at that. Already pressure from Priest around the outside, and Taylor going around the outside of Groenewald. So the 2 BMs are not holding back anything on Groenewald.
I couldn't agree with you more, actually. I was speaking to the boys in the pits from Team Afrox BMW. They really looked a bit steely-eyed, as I mentioned earlier on. And I think they've got something to prove here at Aldo Scribante. Not an easy track, and as you're well aware of, Greg, a lot of tyre wear on this abrasive surface.
Fortunately, only out there for 6 laps, but they've got to give 6 laps of absolute flat-out action now. Look in the background, already at BM looking up the inside. Taylor on Fourie, and makes it stick pretty easily coming into the hairpin. So things looking pretty good for BMW. They've moved up positions, both cars, and now trying to hunt down the 4-wheel drive at the front.
qualifying, there's no doubt about that, and we weren't surprised, to say the least, that both Sapuka and, of course, Stephen were on board right now with Henny Grunewald.
Out of Dunlop coming into the main straightaway now. These guys are going to have to work hard. Sapuka playing the sort of tail gunner role here, trying to keep everybody at bay. But remember, he's got a similar car to Michael Stephen, so he's going to have the same kind of pace. But right now, Michael Stephen is eating this field up, and no one is even close. In the background, there's another move from Taylor looking on the inside. Can't quite make it stick, but he's definitely putting the pressure onto his teammate.
One of the big advantages, of course, as we go on board again with Henny Grunewald, nice shot this as well. Sapuka still being under constant pressure from him. He needs to find a way through. I think Henny's got a thing to prove here. But what I was going to say is the fact that they do give information within the team, and it does help set the cars up for both of them.
100%, and of course with Michael Stephen and the engineering degree he's got, he's definitely going to be helping out his teammate. Look at how defensive Chops is going. Around the outside, you might see a Subaru able to use its all-wheel drive system, but the Quattro wins out for now and maintains that second place, but he is under massive pressure. This little in-house battle is allowing Michael Stephen to get away, and more importantly, especially for the BMWs, it's allowing them to catch up.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of power there. Fourth gear right now on board with Henny Grunewald, trying to get hard on the brakes. And Chops has got a really good line there, but he gets great drive, gives him a little nudge, tries to go on the inside rather than the outside. Does he have the pace? Look at this power of this S4. Oh, he's got a problem. He's definitely got a problem. Chops has got a problem.
Yeah, he went down the straightaway there, and, well, he's fallen back dramatically. Something's gone wrong on that S4. The BMs have got past, so is Faree. Looks like Pinard's going to get through into turn one. So Chops Sapuka just missing a gear or something wrong with the car as he came onto the main straightaway. He has lost out on 5 positions.
Big pressure here from Johan Faree on Melville Priest, bringing lots of pressure. Tight, really tight stuff.
Can't get past though. Melville Priest very, very good on making that 335 very wide. Here comes Taylor on the inside. Looks like Grunewald's having a bit of a problem. Taylor goes flying down the main straightaway and overtakes Henny Grunewald for second place. So it's BMW moving up in a second. Subaru's down to third. A4 looking up the inside and can't make it stick. Here comes Melville Priest. Can he get through on Grunewald? Grunewald seems to be ailing there a little bit. It's not firing like it used to, and he's definitely got a problem now that Priest is on his tail.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. He's really not on the pace, but maybe it'll come right. You know, these cars can be really, really finicky. Out of that sweep at the moment, on their way to the final corner, which will be...
Here's a move. Up on the inside. Look at that. Melville Priest squeezing through, and Grunewald going down again. So the birthday boy is not having it all his own way here, especially in race number 1.
Lots of traffic and lots of damage on some of the other cars and the other classes at the moment, but our focus right here on Class A. This is the nuts and bolts, and Faree still looking good.
Final corner of the final lap. It's going to be a hometown victory for Michael Stephen. He's going to be very happy about that. Another victory for the S4 coming out and doing the damage at the Engine Extreme race day. He comes across to beat out the 2 BMWs and Johan Faree in 4th place in the A4 Indy Oil Audi.
Well, not a great result for Henny Grunewald on his birthday today, but I'll tell you what, he did set the fastest lap. 1:07.423 is going to put him in good stead on pole for race number 3.
Well done to Michael Stephen, though. He takes the victory. There is confirmation. The Engine Extreme Audi winning at the Engine Extreme race day. 2 BMWs behind him, the A4 and the Scooby of Richard Pinard in 5th.
You put that on pole, and you didn't look like you were in any kind of trouble whatsoever. Great win, great race.
Yeah, really, it was a great result. We started on pole, got to the front in the first corner, and yeah, you know, controlled the race from there. Anthony was quick at the end, and he started catching us, but I think we'll be right for the second race.
So reversing 4 cars, and it's a rolling start. Let's get ready for race number 2. I can't tell you, Johan Faree was on pole, but he's been pulled off the start grid line. He's got problems.
Yeah, had a broken hub and had to pull the car off on the start line there, which gives the BMWs 1 and 2 into turn 1, and they 1 and 2 side by side. In fact, it's 2 on the inside, which means Priest gets the whole shot. Taylor slots in, but look at Stephen already starting to push. Has a big look up on the inside of Anthony Taylor. Well done for backing out, heading into the NGNSs, but couldn't quite make it stick there. Then it's the Subaru of Pinard. Good start from him. Let's see if he can stay with these front boys.
Yeah, let's see, indeed. The one thing about Team Afrox on the BMWs, Greg, I was speaking to Donovan Van Heerden. He did say there are no team orders in this team.
That's for sure. It's every man for himself when they're out on the black stuff, or the grey stuff, as we like to call it here in PE. Watch out for Grunewald coming from behind. They had that 5-minute gap to do the work on the grid, and unfortunately for Faree it didn't work out, but it looks like Grunewald's car has been sorted out with that little element he had in race 1.
So Michael Stevens still in the mix right now. He's going to want a bag for the points, and Chop Sapuka will need to impress this PE crowd because they're also rooting for him. Henny Grunewald Looking good, that car. They're in the mix as well as that Nissan. He needs to improve this weekend as well.
Well, Paulo da Cunha ran a little bit wide coming out of that final corner. Now as they go down the back straight, the main straightaway, these guys starting to fan out. Taylor looks on the inside, comes up the inside. He's got to click. Oh, he's taken out Priest. He takes a little tap and the Red Sea just opens up and the Audi sneaks through.
Is there nothing these BMWs can't do? That is the most perfect pirouette I've ever seen in my life.
Very well done in terms of tandem crashing, but it didn't work out for them, and that's handed the race lead to Michael Stevens. Sapuka all over the back of Pinard, and it's basically four-wheel drives at the front end once again. Quattro, all-wheel drive, Quattro, all-wheel drive, and then the Nissan tucked in behind this battle. Henry Groenewald on board with him now, heading into the hairpin.
And after that incident, whose birthday is it really? Michael Stevens?
I think it might be Michael Stevens more than anybody else's. It was quite awesome to see. We're on board here. But look at this. Here's the replay. Taylor goes on the inside. He clips his teammate coming into turn one. The two of them side by side. The Red Sea of Afrox BMWs opens up, and the Audi just sneaks through.
That was like synchronized swimming.
It was perfectly done. Got to give them a 10 out of 10 for synchronized crashing. But it has lost them lots of ground. Taylor's already made up one position, though. He goes on the inside and past Paulo da Cunha into turn one. Have a quick recap. It's Michael Stevens, then Pinard. Here's the battle for 3 and 4. Sapuka in the Engine Extreme S4 with some big pressure coming from the birthday boy.
Oh, yeah, he's going to know that big time. I mean, he always does. But you know what? Henry Groenewald will, if he can, find a way through. There's no doubt about it. And we've still got some laps. We're on lap 3 at the moment. Into 4th gear, Henry Groenewald. Immense pressure on Chop Sapuka at the moment.
Check this on the inside. Sapuka just very daintily. Oh, but he's run wide. So, you can't do that, Chops. Let's open up the door. Henry Groenewald sneaks through. Oh, and gives him a little tap. Puts him onto the grass. Thank goodness he's got Quattro. Otherwise, that car would have been all over the place. Watch out, Chops. You're under pressure. The Q8 Oils Tubular Tech Nissan is on your tail. And da Cunha, he wants another victory. He's already had one this season down in Cape Town, and the improvement on that car has been dramatic. I can't wait to see when those boys are in the 370s.
That'll be something special as well. But you know what? He wasn't so off the pace in practice as well, doing some great lap times around here at Aldo Scribante. He just couldn't quite put that into a qualifying time, but he is quick and he is determined.
Well, remember, we've got a whole bunch of battles happening out there. In-house battle here between the two Sassel Subarus, and it looks like Pinard's under pressure from Groenewald. Pinard's got the blue stripe there, you can see on board with Groenewald now, heading into the Engine S's. And these two Sassel Subarus are definitely starting to close up on the front end. Pinard, I think, might just be holding Henny up a little bit. Remember, Henny will probably have a little bit of extra pace due to the amount of skill this man has as a driver, but not to take anything away from Richard Pinard. Remember, he's a man who's also taking a victory here this season in Bridgestone production cars.
No, I quite agree with you. I'll be interested to actually find out whether the team itself, as with Tanner Garda, also Richard Pinard and Groenewald, are also passing off information within the team to actually help them perform.
No doubt about that. That's exactly what they would be doing. But of course, when they get onto the race stuff, it's every man and lady for themselves. You've got to go out there and beat your teammates, and that's exactly what Groenewald is doing. However, he is not going to catch up onto the back end of Michael Stevens. Stevens really pushing that car, but more importantly, check it out, that Afrox BMW. He's moved up in a 4th place and is looking to close down and possibly steal that away. The 3rd place, I'm talking about, from Pinard.
No doubt about it. Also, the other thing to think about as well, he is the reigning champion, and he will always feel that he's under pressure to perform.
He's starting to feel the pressure a lot more, considering the fact that, Steve, everywhere we've been, we've had a different manufacturer take a victory in the new format of Bridgestone production cars. We've seen a Nissan win, we've seen the Subarus win, we've seen BMW win, and the Audis, and the new Audis have already taken victories. So basically, it's been 5 different cars that have had opportunities to steal the limelight on the day.
On board Team Afrox BMW, it is Anthony Taylor bringing pressure on Richard Pinard. The other thing to consider as well here, Greg, is the fact that this series is about champions. We've got lots of them in the series, and also the kind of cars we've got. Supercharged, turbos, we've got all sorts of things in the mix.
Yeah, there's a twin-turbo BMW outdoing a turbocharged all-wheel drive Subaru. And this Subaru, oh, look at this! Can you handle this? Supercharged versus turbocharged, both with 4-wheel drive systems. And out of the hairpin, Michael Stevens is having to go very defensive. He should be driving an A8, but that's the only way you're going to make that car wide enough to keep Henny behind you.
Henry Groenewald on the pace, 4th gear right now. We're in the final lap. Has he got enough to do it? Down on the outside, having a look. Stevens closes the door. There's no ways he's having anything of this.
He's coming out. Let's see if he gets better drive than Michael. Michael just forces him wide. That's good driving from Michael Stevens, but oh, there's a car in the way. He has to come out of that one. So the checkered flag comes out. Michael Stevens makes it 2 victories out of 2 starts. He wouldn't have thought that would happen, considering the fact that he started in 4th position at the beginning of this race. But but 2 victories it is for the Engine Extreme Audi S4.
What was your highlight? The pirouette of Team Afrox BMW.
Yeah, pretty impressive stuff there to turn 1. But a great drive from Taylor. He brought him up to 3rd place on the road. And that's behind Groenewald, who had a much better outing in the second heat. And of course, he'll be on pole for race 3.
Great defensive driving for the last 2 laps, Michael.
Yeah, it was really an interesting race. Johan pulled off before the race started. The BMs took each other out, gave me the lead. I thought it was all easy, cut and dry. 4 laps from the end, I saw a charging Subaru, and the last 2 laps I had to defend like hell. So it was coming at the end, but I'm glad I could pull it off.
Well, coming into P, I think the Sasol Subaru team is pretty excited because it's really one of the tracks that we started to show some speed and competitiveness last year, and really our first win when we kicked off the 2010 season. So it's a track that I always look forward to, and I think the nature of the track, it's tight and twisty, and creates good, exciting racing. A lot of opportunity for overtaking, and I think a track that when you come here, you really have a good vibe and atmosphere from a good spectator count, and a track that's really promoted well. So, well, this year the Bridgestone production cars have really been exciting and proved to be very competitive with the different manufacturers. We're only into 2 rounds, and we've already had 4 different manufacturers winning the mix in terms of Audi, Nissan, BMW, and Sasol Subaru has had their fair share of wins. So pretty exciting, and I think you really can't discount any competitor in this. It's a competitive field. Some rivals that I enjoy racing against would be Johan Fourie, Michael Stevens, and certainly Anthony Taylor. I think Anthony's proved over the years he's won a few championships in production cars, and it's always a fair, hard race that I enjoy. Forming Team Sasol Subaru has really been incredible, and I think for SB Racing it's been a dream, you know, to have such a great partnership with a company like Sasol, and you know, I think we've got the perfect balance between Sasol and Subaru, and SB Racing. The guys are really gelling, and I think they formed a partnership that really could strive towards great things in the future. It's race 3, see you on the track.
Here we go with race 3, and there's a very hungry man on pole position in a Sasol Subaru, Henny Groenewald, and on his inside, what a move there from Fourie. He sneaks up into 2nd place, and he's got Priest coming through, probably into 3rd. He's going to force that Audi out wide. Yes, indeed. Could drive him, the 2 of them. Oh, a little tap, and it looks like Michael Stevens is going to go into the engine S's and onto the sideline.
Again it happens.
0 to 0. 2 victories, and now he's in the kitty litter. Little tap there from Melville Priest, but unfortunately just couldn't keep it on the black stuff, and now has to come right from the back of the field. The 2 BMWs already starting to put pressure on themselves again, and well, we saw what happened in the first one. It got completely out of hand, and the 2 of them ended up in the kitty litter right now on board with Taylor. They go through the sweep, heading up to the final turn, trying to close down on Melville Priest. This is going to be a tough bit of work here for Anthony. He's looking in the rearview mirror because he's got pressure behind. Here's the replay. Just a little tap as they came into turn 2, just before the S's. Michael Stevens keeps it buried, fortunately, and is able to stay on the track, but has to come at the back end. There's the little tap. This is the onboard shot from Taylor. Priest and Taylor getting through. Now they're side by side, and look at that. Pinot looking for right through. Nearly 3 cars abreast coming into the hairpin. It is Anthony Taylor on the outside. Afrox BMWs side by side.
Again, have they not done this before? Have they not learned from this before? It's amazing. Look at the driving into the sweep and out of it. And Priest is just trying to hang on to Anthony Taylor, who's not having any of it. Yeah, no team orders there.
Yeah, Taylor got through there, though, so he's got to now get past his teammate. You get a little tap there from the left-hand side. That was from Pinard. Now the 2 BMs coming out of the final corner, going down the main straightaway. It is Taylor out in front of Priest. Priest has got a lot of work to do. Look at that, 160, 170, 180 k's an hour. They're going to get to just over the 200 k an hour mark before they climb on the anchors for turn 1.
Unbelievable stuff. Great driving as well. So the Subaru, Henny Groenewald, is just leading out at the moment.
Look at the improvement here from Tanith Gardner as well. She's getting to grips with the Subaru, there's no doubt about it, putting pressure of her own onto the back end of her teammates. So at the front end, it is all about this man, Henny Groenewald. He's got to the front and pulled away. So has Fourie. Fourie stayed with him, but it is coming down to the final wire now. They're coming up on Nathan. Yeah, this is Graham Nathan just in limp mode there in his little GTI. But around the outside, the Subaru goes, and the Indy Oil Audi behind is thinking, well, maybe Graham helped me out a little bit there.
Yeah, you never know, hey. That's the way things go as well. But Henny Groenewald, and could this be the first win of the day? And what a nice way to celebrate his birthday if he can.
Oh, looks like he's going to take this one. The checkered flag will be waiting. The Sassel Subaru and Henny Groenewald will take race number 3. So it's basically flag to flag there, because remember, he was on pole. In the background, the battle was for third place. It was between the other 2 Subarus and the 2 Afrox BMWs. But eventually, it is Groenewald who takes the victory. Indy Oil Audi in second place of Johan Fourie. In third place, a great drive to come right through the field there, and looking good so far, I must tell you. This is going to be a great 4th race.
All right, let's get confirmation as how it stood. Henny Groenewald wins it outright. Johan Fourie second. Anthony Taylor in the Afrox BMW. Melville Priest and then Tanith Gardner. 6 cars inverted on the grid, and we have a rolling start. This is going to put a lot of pressure on Henny Groenewald right now, because he won the previous race. Now he's going to have to come from a long way behind.
Oh, Taylor ready in a bit of action there between him and Tanith Gardner. Oh, there's a tap. Tanith Gardner goes sideways. He's going to... Oh, this is huge. There, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rolls, and Tanith Gardner is on the sideline. That's a big one.
She had some rubber to protect her there.
Now, unfortunately, rolling on the tyre wall, but that's given Pinard now the opportunity to lead this out. You can see a little bit of damage there on Taylor. It was definitely Taylor, the protagonist there, and he's been involved in a lot of action today.
You think?
It's not like him, eh? He's not that kind of a bruiser, bit of a driver, but yes, it was definitely Taylor who clipped Tanith Gardner, and she ended up in a very big roll down the main straightaway. You can see Taylor hasn't given up, though. He's on the inside, Michael Stephen on the outside, looking to come through the hairpin. He has the onboard shot. Look at that. There's the first clip. He goes off, he comes back on the circuit, gets a little bit out of shape, and that's it! Tanith Gardner goes flying down the sideline and makes the Aldo Scribante crowd lose their minds.
Wow, fortunate for those tyres. It took a lot of that displacement of energy and inertia. Car could have been a lot worse, and she could have been banged up a lot worse as well. I hope she's okay.
What happened there? That was Pinard slowing down. I think he might have thought there was a safety car out there. But all of a sudden, he climbed a little bit on the brakes. He's now under pressure from Groenewald. That's allowed Priest to get through. So Melville Priest now leads out. Pinard's in second, Groenewald in third, and then Fourie in 4th place in the A4.
Wow, well, Groenewald benefits from all of this at the moment. Fantastic stuff. And there goes the BMW. And of course, you've got to understand here as well, and I know you do, Greg, we've got like 8 laps. They have to do everything. It's about sprinting to actually achieve these results. It's not easy on the drivers or the cars.
Not at all. Second gear coming out there, and looks like a change-up here. Looks like the Scooby-Doo battle is going to be won out by Henny Groenewald. But what? Oh, this is such an amazing drive from the A4 of Johan Fourie. Johnny Fury is definitely putting the pressure onto those 2 Scooby-Doos, and they are going to have to work double time to keep him at bay. There he goes on the inside. Can he get through on Pinard? He looks on the inside. Pinard gives him enough room. It's good driving from Pinard. There is enough space to get 2 cars through there, and Fourie uses a little bit of the inside of the road, but he moves up to 3rd place, or does he? They're now side by side as we go on board with Pinard.
Well, you can't see anything out of the back rearview mirror. Oh, there you can, Fourie, just in the background. So he needs to actually get his pace up a little bit more. But right now, the pressure's going to be on Pinard. Fourie down on the inside. Has he got it? No, he doesn't. Pinard close to the door. But look, right behind him, it's Michael Stephen in the Audi S4 charging.
Watch out, here comes a move into the engine S's, and the Indy Oil machine sneaks through. Will we see Michael Stephen go around his outside? Yes, we will. So the S4 and A4 are just going hammer and tongs against Richard Pinard. Pinard driving the wheels off the Scooby, but just cannot keep these 2 Audis at bay.
Way too polite.
Yeah, he could have been a little bit harder there, I think, too. But anyway, that's how Pinard drives. He's not a big bruiser of a driver. He likes to give enough room when there is some there. I don't think Fourie's going to return the favour when it comes to Michael Stephen, though.
There's no ways that's going to happen. Into the sweep we go. Fantastic shots here on TV. Looking at these, nicely tuned up cars. They're beautiful.
Heading up to the final corner now. It is Melville Priest that leads out. Henny Groenewald in the Subarus in second. This is the battle for third. There's 5 cars in it. Sapuka's not out of it yet, and I can tell you something. That BMW of Taylor is still available and possibly there to spoil the day.
7 of 8, and here we go, charging down, and Henny Groenewald is on a mission right now. He is trying to just reel in that BMW, and I think he's got a crack at it. 4th gear, lap 7. I'll tell you what, there's not much time. Oh, it's on the outside, has a look. He's got the brakes. He definitely has got a good line here. The BMW will come back on this, I promise you. There it is.
No, but he'll come back, and he's going to cut the apex late coming out of that corner. Now he goes into the defensive mode, does Priest, keeping that Subaru behind him. But, a little tap there from Groenewald. The battle is on. We've only got one more lap and one corner to go. Where will Henny Groenewald make his move?
Well, how can the BMW keep him out right now? Because we know how powerful that car is. Third gear right now, getting all the grunt, all the drive. It's a flat-out dice. Has a look on the outside. The BMW's not having anything at the moment.
Well, it's a twin-turbo rear-wheel drive taking on turbocharged all-wheel drive as they go down the main straightaway. Look at how Melville wait until the very last second to come across to take the line for turn one. Henny Groenewald saw that. He thinks, okay, I'm going to have to get you at the hairpin. That's the only place I can try and make a move, or it's going to be the final turn. We're on the last lap, remember, and it's BM versus Subaru.
Down to third gear, they go through this lovely little kink area. Beautiful stuff right now. Lots of pressure bringing to bear on Melville Priest. Henny Groenewald is really wants a way past here, and he's not going to take no for an answer. Right at the top of the chicane might be a good area, or otherwise into the sweep.
Check the drive. Oh, awesome drive here. He goes on the inside. Late braking is required. He's not late enough. The BM was a lot later. Second gear, and it is so close between these two. A little tap between the two of them. Oh, that had to happen. The two of them, it was going to be do or die. And right now, on the inside, he comes straight back. Side-by-side action. All-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive. Twin turbo versus turbocharged.
Henny's got the line.
Oh, good move there from Henny Groenewald. Forces Melville a little bit wide there. Oh, going to go absolutely. Keep it buried, Melville. Keep it buried. He's tapped out on slightly and the Subaru sneaks through. Oh, he should have just kept that BMW buried to the maximum. But Henny Groenewald comes across the line. And a double victory there for the Sassel Subaru team. They are going to be ecstatic. And the birthday boy wins out with 2 victories on the day. Fortunately, his teammate, Tanith Gardner, walking away from that horrendous crash with hardly any bumps or bruises. Just probably a little bit of damage to the old ego. So Groenewald takes the victory. Unfortunately, Melville Priest being docked for passing under yellow with that incident earlier on. Faria second, Michael Stephen third.
Couldn't have picked a better day because it was your birthday as well. A double win, well done.
Yeah, I think we're happy. You know, it's a present for me, but I think a present for the Sassel Subaru team. The guys did an awesome job. You know, we had a bad first heat, but to come back with a second and a double win thereafter, really a good present for me and a reward for the guys working so hard. I think, you know, last year we saw there are some tracks that didn't suit our car, but this year I think the car's all around much better package to get quickly around all the circuits, you know, and it's a strong force coming in the Audis at the moment. We've seen they got the pace, and you know, right now I think it's about reliability to be there at the end of the season and to be quick at every track.
That's exactly what he's been, which means he now leads out the championship. Michael Stevens' improvement and new car gets him up to second. The disqualification of Taylor puts him down in fourth, and his teammate Melville Priest just ahead of him by 1 point after his little faux pas.
Hi, this is Chop Sapuka from the Engine Extreme Racing team. Join me at Pakisa on the 4th of June. Watch the moment.
Join us after the break as we continue our action from Bridgestone Production Cars and the Class T's.
So to Class T, and it's qualifying time. This is where it gets all really excited in the mix there. Kwame, will he have a good weekend?
He certainly will. Graham, of course, has got a lot of work to do to make up lost ground and hopefully get that car to the front end. But it was a big improvement from the Opel that saw him get to the front row. Michael van Rooyen looking dangerous. Gennaro Bonafide, though, is the man that they all had to catch, and he puts it on pole position in his Ferrodo GTI.
So let's have a look at it. Gennaro Bonafide, Michael van Rooyen, front row.
Second row is going to be Graham Nathan and his stablemate, Kieran Kwame, in their GTIs.
Then, very exciting stuff, Gary Formato and Ebrahim Levy.
Ford having a little bit of problems there, and his teammate also battling a little bit. Germany alongside Nizam Essa.
Gennaro Bonafide sticks it on pole. He must be delighted.
No, we're very chuffed. We're doing a lot of work in between the races, and yesterday the car felt good. We never really did, you know, a quick lap on 4 new tires, so we were a bit apprehensive, but we went out there this morning. The car was just amazing. I mean, it completely hooked up. Felt like I could, you know, do it every day, all day.
So nice to see a very relaxed Michael van Rooyen. Well done, front row.
Thank you very much. It's a great result for the hometown of Opel. We're ecstatic with second position. We wanted to get pole, but a 10th off. I think we might be able to make that up in the race.
Well, I was saying to Gennaro Bonafide that in spite of the fact that he got pole position, it's all close. 1-2 all the way down to 5.
Oh, definitely. Yesterday, the first 7 were separated by 3/10, so it's going to be extremely close, and the reverse grid will make it more interesting as well.
Heading down towards turn 1, Gennaro's got his own little problems alongside him, because getting off the line, it looks like the OPC has got the drop on him. They're going to go side by side into turn 1. Graham Nathan and Kieran Kwambi looking back at them from Gennaro, but it is Michael van Rooyen in the OPC, hits the front end, and what a good bit of driving to drive around the outside of Gennaro. It's 3 GTIs behind as we go on board with Bonafide.
Yeah, looking very good, and nice to see Michael van Rooyen and the OPC Astra doing what it was designed to do, which is start to lead races for a change.
It's good to see a new manufacturer at the front end of Class T2. Remember, we've already seen a Ford victory, we've seen a couple of GTI victories, and the Volkswagen boys will be happy about that. But right now, at the hometown of Opel and Volkswagen, Opel leads out.
Graham Nathan having a look on the inside, keeps Bonafide out and honest on the outside. Not much room there, is there, Gennaro? Oh, look, neck and neck. It's Nathan and Gennaro Bonafide. No quarter asked, no quarter given, side by side as they head up to the final turn on this racetrack.
Yeah, look at that little tap there from Gennaro Bonafide. Graham comes back, he's going to return the favour. He's got the line going in and forces Gennaro a little bit wide there. So Nathan has got up into the front end. Look at that, Kieran Kwambi nearly sneaks through too. And Formato sitting in the background is going, okay, it's my turn, let's have some fun and games here. This is what it's all about. 3 GTIs, the Ford Focus ST, all trying to catch that OPC, but of course, they're slowing each other down, and Michael van Rooyen is disappearing.
How are they slowing each other down? Looks like they're on the money here.
They're on the money, but the problem is that they're trying to block each other from getting through. So, of course, you're getting on the brakes earlier, you're climbing on the accelerator a little bit later, just trying to make sure... Whoa! Look at that, around the outside. The Ford gets forced wide, and Kieran Kwambi lives to fight another day.
Yeah, well, I can tell you Gary Formato's memory will be long. There's no doubt about this, and there's lots of laps to go in this race at the moment. So he'll bring pressure to bear on Kieran Kwambi. But right now, the battle at the front, it's a very, very clinical drive right now from Michael van Rooyen.
Oh, look at that. Oh, no, there's a problem on Kwambi's car. He's gone off. He has gone off. I'm not quite sure if he got a tap there from the Ford. It might have been a little one. We'll have to wait and see if we get that in a replay. But as they come out now, Kieran Kwambi is out of this battle. Bonafide is trying to close down. Here's the onboard shot. Look at Formato getting all squirrely, and then all on his own.
Yep.
Kwambi all on his own, just gets it wrong and ends up in the wall.
Broken suspension, flat tyre, burst tyre, who knows?
Something went wrong, though. You can just see the front left-hand side of the car just pulls to the left-hand side of the track and puts him into the sidewall. Look at the damage on the front end of that GTI. Remember, we saw a little bit of that in Class A as he was trailing around to try and get back to pit lane. But Formato now, he can smell some blood in the water, and it's a Ferodo GTI's blood that's leaking out of the back end of Bonafide's car, and he wants at that car.
Well, let's hope so, because he wasn't smelling any blood in qualifying, that's for sure.
So as they come out of the hairpin now, Ferodo GTI under pressure from the BP Castrol Ford Focus. Can they make a move? A little bit further back to him, and he's got his own problems, though. He's having to take on the other 2 GTIs of Levy and Essa, and they're not hanging back. I can tell you something, I'm very impressed with the improvements from both Essa and Levy.
Yeah, I had a chat with him yesterday. He was very, very impressive as well. And the car was looking good, and he said he feels very good about the whole weekend's racing. So, time will tell. We'll have a look at it.
Getting into the final lap. Look at how Nathan's pushing. He wants to get that OPC. He's not going to let Michael van Rooyen have this all his own way. Van Rooyen basically has led from the start to the finish of this race, and that is a massive improvement from him, especially considering they're down here at the home of Opel. He comes flying into the sweep for the final time, up towards the final corner. T29 is going to be at the top end of the podium, and unfortunately, Graham Nathan, as hard as he tried, will not catch Michael van Rooyen.
Well, at least on the next race, he's not going to be carrying as much success ballast as what Michael van Rooyen will, because if he does win this race, 70 kilograms of dead weight gets loaded. Well done, Michael van Rooyen. Great race win.
Is that going to slow down the Rustenburg Rocket, though? I don't think so, but this man is on fire here today. He takes the victory. Graham Nathan comes through in second place. The Ferodo GTI of Gennaro Bonafide will finish up in third place, just ahead of Gary Formato, which is a great start to the day there and a much improvement for the Ford team. They'll be happy with that as they come through in the top 5. Fifth place, though, is going to be one out. And I'll tell you something, it was a great battle, but Ibrahim Levy eventually outdoing Sean Duminy.
Winner of race 1, absolutely delighted. You caused and raised a few eyebrows here, Michael van Rooyen. The OPC Opel Astra was certainly kicking some serious stuff on that racetrack.
Well, definitely. We've got a lot of eyes upon us as well from a sponsorship point of view. So, no, great result. It's absolutely awesome. It took us a while, but at least we're here now, and it feels awesome.
So, 4 cars are inverted, and it's a rolling start. Let the games begin. Race number 2.
Heading down towards turn 1, it's Formato who's going to be on pole position. We're on board with a man who's in second place, and he's now going to have to go defensive because Graham Nathan and Michael van Rooyen will be looking to get through the field as quickly as possible to catch Formato. His teammate Sean Dermody is just behind the battle between the other 2 GTIs, and of course Kieran Kwame coming out of pit lane there at the start. But into the Engine S's, and already pressure being put onto Michael van Rooyen. That is coming from Levy and Essa. They're not hanging back. Armin Levy Racing, and of course the Azrin GTIs. Very similar colors, just with the yellow stripe and the red stripe. And these guys are really going at it.
Not only that, there are just a bunch of great guys as well. I mean, they really are. They afford you time. They let you know what's going on within the team, and I think they're very approachable, and we wish them the best of luck for the rest of the race.
So now as they come down towards Gennaro Bonafini is under pressure. This is the sweep. Very quick out of here. Graham Nathan normally gets a good drive. He's able to close down on Gennaro, but Gennaro just maintaining good pace here, and it looks like Gennaro might be able to keep Nathan at bay. Although, as I say that, on the brakes, he just closes right up. And speaking of closing right up, there's a move. Levy looking to get up the inside of Michael van Rooyen. Van Rooyen not going as quickly as what we saw in the first race, but that was because he got away and there was a bit of in-house battling. The in-house battle at the front, well, it's between the 2 GTIs for second and third. The Ford is pulling a bit of a gap now, and hopefully Formato can keep that out, especially for the Ford Racing boys.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. You're quite right. Also, that distance between for the Gennaro Bonafini and Formato. Well, I'll tell you what, it's not Gennaro Bonafini's main interest right now, Formato. He's just trying to keep out Graham Nathan.
Looks like he's doing a good job of it. He's blocking every maneuver from Graham Nathan. Nathan's going to get frustrated. He is definitely starting to feel the frustration coming, because look at that. The Opel pulls up right through the Engine S's and is on the tailpiece. There's a bit of a trailer on the back of that GTI. And if he's there, that means Levy's there. And just behind Levy will be Essa. So I think Graham is going to put the pressure onto the back end of Bonafini. He realizes that Bonafini is actually slowing them up and allowing Formato to get away. So look at that. Big pressure now from the 2 GTIs. A little nudge going into the hairpin. Rubbing's racing. That's what it's all about. And man, are these boys rubbing.
Into the sweep they go, and in the inside line, Gennaro Bonafini still got it, but being pressured now by Michael van Rooyen, and Nathan will see that and will need to desperately get past Bonafini. Bonafini has a look around the outside, has a look down on the inside. Oh, he taps him again, gets on the inside, he gets the drive, nudges him back. I'll tell you what, you say, Rubbing's racing.
Yeah, look at the Opel in there as well, so 2 GTIs. Gesticulations from both drivers. You can see the frustration between the 2 of them. Well, it looks like Nathan won that little battle out, but the war is still on, and the war goes down towards turn number 1.
It's hard to imagine that Gennaro Bonafini would be grumpy.
He goes into turn 1. He's looking for a way past Grumpy, as Graham Nathan is nicknamed by his team. But right now it is Grumpy who's got away from Bonafini, and Bonafini can't be too happy about that. He's now going to go on the defensive and keep the Opel out, because Van Rooyen has realized that with these 2 fighting so hard, he might just be able to sneak through.
Yeah, I've also got to just say a big shout out to the Port Elizabeth crowd. They've come down in their droves to witness once again another superb racing outfit.
They go into turn 1 again, and it's still Graham Nathan unable to bridge the gap between himself and Formato, although he's tried hard. Bonafini just going defensive, just making that Golf GTI very wide and keep that OPC Opel out. It's not going to be an easy job, because we've already seen the pace that Michael van Rooyen has got after race 1's victory. We're getting to the closing. Formato slowed up! Formato slowed up. There's a problem on his car. That's Graham Nathan to the front end now. Oh, he's been handed the victory here. Or has he? Bonafini's seen it and said, okay, now it's time to return the favour.
Yeah, with fingers gesticulating, I'll tell you what, there's no quarter asked here. It's going to be tough into the sweep at the moment. Gennaro Bonafini having a look on the inside. He doesn't quite have it at the moment, and Graham Nathan knows this. He's going to make that GTI very wide indeed. Will there be a little bump? Well, we don't want to see that nastiness in motor racing at all, but Rubbing is racing, as we've mentioned, and on the inside he has a look. He just doesn't quite have it. Superb defensive driving right now from Graham Nathan.
Graham Nathan's going to have to be defensive for 1 more lap as they cross the line, and now come to the final stage of race 2 as they go down the main straightaway now in these GTIs, probably getting to just over the 190 km/h mark before they climb very hard onto the brakes. And the hardest braker there was Graham Nathan. He was very late on the brakes, keeping out Bonafini. Bonafini did the exact same thing to keep Van Rooyen out, but there's 3 cars in it, and any one of these 3 can win. There's a late move into the final corner. Can Bonafini make it? No, he's run wide. That's going to compromise his drive, and Nathan should be able to hang on.
Well, we'll have to see. I thought he might have gotten a little bit more better drive out of that as well, but no. not at all. Graham Nathan's going to hang on to this. Well done. Gennaro Bonafide, a very close second, and an impressive third for Michael van Rooyen in the Opel Astra.
More consistency from that Opel Astra, which is so good to see, and the OPC has improved. Graham Nathan comes across the line, but unfortunately he is docked one position for unruly driving, and he goes down to second place behind Bonafide, and then in third place Michael van Rooyen. Ibrahim Levy, a great drive from him, and Nizam Essa into the top 5 for the first time.
Race number 2, Graham Nathan, great win. Lots of trouble going on behind you, but you were under pressure for a lot of that race.
Absolutely, Gennaro did a great job. He drove really, really hard. In the beginning, unfortunately, Gary was starting to get away. I tried to gesticulate to Gennaro to go, and I went up the inside of him. I thought he had moved over when he had seen me pointing to him, and he then decided to go defensive. We touched, but we both finished the race. We did quite well. Gary unfortunately had a flat wheel, so his woes for this weekend haven't stopped, unfortunately. But yeah, great race, great stuff for the spectators, and my team did a great job. Thanks to Newell and everybody backing me.
Well, look, it's the third round of the series now, and you know, we had a good one in Cape Town. We won overall there, so you know the car's there. You know, we've got some form coming in. We had to rebuild the motor. We found a bit of problems there, so you know, hopefully that's going to sort us out for this weekend. Scribante is just an awesome track. I mean, you know, the spectators really come out in force. You know, this place in Cape Town is really the vibe of South Africa most, what I feel. You know, it's the home of Volkswagen. There's always tons of people out here to support us. Look, I mean, this is class tier production cars, so you got everyone. Gary Formato is a champion, is a worldwide, you know, name known. Gary's done well overseas, and he's raced Le Mans. And of course you got Graham Nathan, you know, the reigning champion in the Golf. And I mean, those two guys especially. You got Michael van Rooyen, who's just coming now with the Opel, and I promise you he's got some form. You know, and you can never rule out Sean Duminy and Kieran Kwambi. Ibrahim Levy is also coming into the force, so the rivalry is there. I mean, the guys are really pushing the limits, and you know, to race them, you've got to be fearless, bumper to bumper, edge to edge, really racing, you know, the way racing should be. I mean, look, now this is our 4th year with Ferodo and Champion and Federal Mogul as a brand, and it's been a partnership of note. I mean, ever since the first day they approached me and said they wanted me to be in their colours, it's just been a hit. You know, Ferodo have put in a lot of effort, and I think it's paying off now, and hopefully we can bring home a championship for them. You know, race 3 is coming up now. Let's see what happens.
Here we go again. Race 3, on pole position, the fastest man from race 1, and it was the OPC of Michael van Rooyen. Gary Formato on his tail, and Gennaro Bonafide in 3rd place. Whereas Graham Nathan, he's going to have to come from the back of the field.
Well, you know, he's not like he's a foreigner from there at all, because he's been known to jump without a passport into 1st position very quickly, indeed. And that's one thing that we do not want to do, is rule out Nathan.
Formato now under pressure from Bonafide. This is early pressure. This is only lap number 1. But Formato, he definitely wants to have some improvements. He hasn't had a great first heat, second heat. He had a flat tyre, which cost him the race. He was in the lead, and now as they head down towards the hairpin for the first time, you can see his teammate going defensive. This little battle's been great. Duminy, Levy, and Essa all day going at it, and now all of a sudden they've got Kwambi and Nathan thrown into the mix. So it's 4 GTIs, and the second of those 4 focuses having to keep those 4 GTIs behind.
One of the most important things to think about here as well is that there's less than half a second separating those 4 cars.
Yeah, and absolutely nothing there. It looks like there might be a bit of a problem on Graham's car, though. It's definitely not firing on all cylinders like we normally see from him. And he's actually battling just to stay on the back end of this little tight battle that's raging now for the second half of the top 10.
Well, if it carries on like this is going to be an outstanding day for Michael van Rooyen, and doesn't he deserve it too?
He's been working very hard. It's good to see such an improvement. And the Rustenburg Rocket, speaking of rockets, round the outside goes Kieran Kwambi. They are side by side. Oh, massive flame out of Dermony's car. But Kwambi wins it out. He goes into the Engine S's, and the GTI outdoes the ST.
I've been trying to work out the problems. I mean, Sean Dermony is normally very, very quick. In fact, the Fords are very, very quick. I mean, what's been going on with Sean's car? It just really hasn't come to the party this weekend at all.
The Ford guys have really battled, but you can see that they've sorted out whatever the problem is on Formato's car. Not quite done that on Dermony. He has to go defensive yet again and keep out Levy and Essa. Those two having a great little run there. There's definitely a problem on Nathan's car. Look at how he's battling. He can't even get out of the drive. It must be stuck in limp mode, or he's got a problem on the gearbox. I'm not sure what it is, but there's definitely a hassle there for Nathan, and that's not going to be good for his championship.
Well, let's just hope that nothing more goes wrong with Gary Formato. As we know, in practice, I mean, he was really on the raggedy edge and rolled the car. In practice, we didn't think that he was actually going to start the race, but here he is, and he's still circulating and doing well. Yeah,
hats off to the team for getting that car sorted out now as they head down towards turn number 1. There's a bit of smoke coming out of that car every time he gets under braking and down the gear change. It's going to be a bit of a concern, and I think it'll probably be looking at Gennaro Bonafide and thinking to himself, might be another problem on that car. Maybe I can sneak through and get up to second.
Yeah, he does seem to be a little bit more patient at the moment, and that's what he needed to be on a couple of other races as well. He needed to sit there and work out where his car is fastest and then make the move.
Remember, he was fastest. He was on pole for the race 1, so he's definitely got the pace around here. Essa putting the pressure back onto Germany now. That little battle's going to rage right down to the line. This is the final lap, and it looks like Michael van Rooyen is going to hang on. Or will Gary Formato try something into the final corner?
And that surprises you?
I think he probably might have a good look. Not close enough, though, unfortunately, for Formato. Bonafide also not close enough to get up into second place from his third place, and it's going to be 2 wins on the day for the Williams Hunt Opel OPC.
Yeah, this is turning into be an outstanding day for the team, and you've got to wish them well. They really, really deserve that. They've gone through a heck of a lot of problems as well. But then again, saying that, so have some other teams as well. Formato's lucky to be out there, and of course, Gennaro Bonafide is always going to be in the mix. Disappointed with Nathan as well, but well done to Michael van Rooyen. A great win for Opel.
Certainly is, and that is a great day there. 2 wins on the day so far. Can he maybe take the last race of the day? Remember, it is going to be an inverted grid. There is confirmation of the results. Van Rooyen, Formato, Bonafide, Kwambi, Ibrahim Levy once again in the top 5.
So, as we get underway, 6 cars inverted, well, into the mix, and a rolling start, and we're off and racing. This is the final race from Aldo Scribante, race number 4.
Really a little bit of action from Kieran Kwambi. Oh, that's a good bit of driving there from Germany. Opened up the door for his teammate, but Bonafide saw that and went with him. So Formato hits the front and gets the whole shot into turn 1. That is a great bit of driving there from the team. Good team tactics being put in there. Germany knows he hasn't got the pace, but he was on the front row, and he allowed his teammate to sneak through. Now he's trying to keep the Opel out, and a little tap between the two of them. Oh, nearly T-Bone City, well held. Michael van Rooyen climbed out of that completely. Nathan sneaks through, and well, that could have ended up in tears big time. We had a great shot here on board with Kieran Kwambi as they came out of the Engine S's.
You know what? I call that mature driving. That's what I call it, mature driving. Well done, Michael van Rooyen. He really just didn't get his foot down on the hammer, lifted it off, as you say, and then it allowed the other car to actually get back and straighten up.
Well, there's the replay. You can see he goes on the inside. Van Rooyen tried a little bit too early. I don't think the line was quite there. He gave Germany a bit of a tap. Germany, well held for his driving too, kept it on the black stuff, but great driving from Michael van Rooyen, coming out of it completely and allowing Germany to recover. But that has allowed Graham Nathan through, and his car's definitely not in limp mode now, but he's closing up on Levy and Kwambi.
Yeah, Levy under pressure, certainly from Kwambi, but you know what? Levy will just want the points. He'll be wanting to circulate around here and just get points every single race, and at the end of it, you never know how far you finish up in the championship. Down on the outside, Kwambi having a look. No ways through there. One of my favorite parts of this racetrack at the moment really is demanding kinky stuff.
Yeah, coming into the Engine S's now, this is what it's all about. See, the 3 GTI is going to go to battle here, and the 2 Nathan's Motorsport boys are putting the pressure onto Ibrahim Levy Racing. And I tell you, Ibrahim is having one of the best races of his season so far, if not the best of his career in British production cars. And his teammate, whoa, I just say that, and his teammate goes and throws it away. It looks like he's got a puncture. The car wouldn't have spun around like that. I think he might have picked up a back right puncture there. Just having a look. Yeah, I think that back right is flat, and Essa, well, he got it sideways coming out of engine.
So, as we continue recapping, and our leaders are still streaking ahead. Michael van Rooyen in the mix up there at front. Levy under a lot of pressure right now from Kieran Kwame, and look at Nathan having a look on the inside. Of course, they are still prepared in the same camp, aren't they, Greg?
Yeah, they certainly are. Nathan's Motorsport preparing those two cars. They go down the back straightaway, main straightaway now. Look at Famata pulling away. He's into the 109. Bonafide slowed up. Bonafide's got a problem. He has slowed up. Looks like his car's gone into limp mode. That is a big problem now. Look at this. It is Levy in second place. That's the highest he's ever been. And I think he's going to try as hard as he can to keep both those Nathan's Motorsport boys behind him. It's the Tyres and Transit Interfile GTI of Kieran Kwame and then the Indy Oil GTI of Nathan. And they are now going to make Ibrahim Levy's life a living hell.
Yeah, of course, right down here on the coast as well. This time of the day, the sun also, the glare, that plays a role. They've got to be careful.
Lights ablaze for Famata. He leads out. There goes a move from Kwame. Will Nathan follow him through if he makes it stick? Oh, it's tight. Levy gets forced wide. Kwame's got it. But they're going to be side by side coming down towards the sweep. He's running to the dirt. That's going to compromise his drive. Nathan keeping it out wide. He now tucks inside of Levy and comes out of the sweep side by side. Ibrahim Levy has got his work cut out. He's going defensive on Nathan and attacking Kieran Kwame. This is awesome driving from these three.
Yeah, he's got the best line into the final turn as well, but that's not going to stop Nathan. He'll drive right around the outside, which he just did.
Drives around the outside, put Levy on the dirt on the inside, so you can see there's enough room there for two cars to go through. And now, looks like Nathan's going to try on the inside of Kwame into turn one. He comes up alongside. They are now side by side into turn one. Kwame's not going to give it back. There's no team orders here, so these two, every man for themselves. And Nathan, well, a little bit more experienced than Kwame, but Kwame is not holding back at all.
No, it's fantastic driving as well, and he really has matured as well. He's not being roughed up, he's not getting mugged, he's just concentrating on his line at the moment, and you would have to with Nathan alongside you. Oh, he gets on the inside. Nathan's got a better line for that hairpin. Nathan will come out trumps here, I'm sure of it. Kwame not giving up the ghost, and he's bringing along Levy for the ride.
Dude, can you believe that? That's 4 corners side by side. So there's enough place in every single corner for 2 cars to go through. And side by side action continues to the sweep. These folks are not holding back at all. Oh, a little tap between the two of them. Roaming's racing continues in Bridgestone production cars. Now they head up to the final corner. Will Nathan eventually win out? Yes, he does, but it took him 6 corners of side-by-side action with Kwame.
Yeah, and it looks like Levy behind them looked like a badger. I mean, eyes wide open there, wondering what was going on and then unfolding in front of him. Final lap. Nathan is being chased down by Kwame. Is he really finished? I don't think he is.
No, Kwame's still got a little bit of drive left there. I think he's got a little bit of fresher tyres too, because remember, he spent race number 2 on the sideline after crashing at that hairpin. No one's going to catch Famata. This is a good way to leave the circuit, considering they haven't had a great weekend. The last victory of the day is going to go the way of the blue oval, and Ford will be happy with that. What a great dice for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place. Watch for it in the background. Nathan's going to win out. Kwame's there. And so is Levy. 3 GTIs, and almost all of them side by side in every single aspect of this final stage of race 4.
Yeah, probably about 14,000 people really enjoyed this little battle right now. A great turnout here in PE at the Aldo Scribante. And well done, Gary Famata.
Famata takes the victory there. Nathan finishing up in 2nd place. Then it's Kieran Kwame. Levy up to 4th, and Germany into the top 5 for the first time.
Final end to our 3rd round at Aldo Scribante in Port Elizabeth, and finally a race win. It's just been a tough weekend, Gary.
It is. I mean, yeah, we crashed the car yesterday in free practice. It obviously didn't help, and you know, it's just one of those weekends. It's how it goes on from there. The car's been particularly quick this weekend. I think we're missing something on the setup, definitely. So we need to go back and work for Pekisa. We've got that long race there as well. We need the car to work perfectly for that. So I think the potential's there. We've just dialed ourselves out of the window for some reason.
Championship points. Graham Nathan leads, heading to Pekisa Freeway. Gary Famata with some work to do. Nora Bonafide steps up to 3rd, and Kieran Kwame right on his tail. Levy in 5th.
Let's have a look at the manufacturing points at the moment in terms of the cars, and it's Volkswagen 320 leading out, Audi, BMW, Ford, Subaru, Nissan, and Opel on a charge.
Hi, I'm Gary Famata. Come join Team Ford Racing at Pekisa on the 4th of June. See you there.
And also see a change in race format. Set out for Pekisa, the endurance format steps up for the first time this season. For more information on the Westbank Super Series, log on to their website, westbanksuperseries.co.za.
That's a wrap of the Bridgestone production cars. Next up is the Westbank V8 Supercars, as well as the Engine Volkswagen Cup, where I'll be racing. So, tune in. See you next time.